of working experience you need to have. Even if you did that in school, maybe your school works, maybe your school internships, maybe anything you did in school, it counts as part of the 6 months working experience in Saskatchewan. Over other provinces, there are other provinces that you must get a full-time job. Hello guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel and thank you so much for joining today. Please do not forget, press the like button of this video now so that we can move the platform together. Thank you so much for understanding. Today's video, I want to talk about something very extraordinary. Guys, this is for the broke community because I now believe that those of us who are watching this video are people who want to migrate, and of course we do not have a lot of money, so we have to think. Now this is a video for the broke community, like I said, and in this video I'm going to be talking about how and why you should study in a province in Canada called Saskatchewan. All right, there are a lot of advantages I want to bring out here for you, which Saskatchewan have over other provinces in Canada. Please, if you didn't know, my name is Milton Fonkwa. I'm equally called the Anointed Village Boy. All right, thank you. Saskatchewan is a province in Canada. And in Saskatchewan, we have two main cities, all right? We have Saskaton and there is Regina. I call it Regina, some people call it Regina, but it doesn't matter. Now, there are some reasons I want to give you here that if you are an international student, you should consider moving to Saskatchewan, all right, for your study program. And what you should be looking at in Saskatchewan should be something that you should take yourself or that can carry you to permanent residency. Before I talk about the reasons why you should study in Saskatchewan, please, there are two things I want to say here. The very first one is how you can transition from a study program in Saskatchewan, either a community college, a vocational school, or a university, to PR in Saskatchewan. Now, before I talk about this, let me say this here. I noticed that a lot of you are saying that, Milton, I do not have anybody abroad that will pick me up from the airport when I arrive in Canada or in Europe. Look, you do not need anybody to pick you up while you arrive in Europe. You do not need anybody to direct you when you arrive in Europe. In fact, you do not need anybody to give you any information when you arrive in Europe. All you need in your pocket is money. Now, if you do not stand up to change your own destiny, you are going to remain on the same position. Those of you who say you are scared of traveling because you do not have anybody in those countries to stay with, to do this, to do that, you don't need anybody, all right? In as much as you have a mobile phone and you have money in your pocket, you can book your accommodation yourself. You can use your mouth to ask questions, all right? What is the use of your mouth? You can use it. With that said, let's move on. Now, for you to study in Saskatchewan and transition to permanent residence, this is what you need to know. There is no age limit, there is no language barrier, and there is no race distinction. You have to put this into consideration. There are a lot of differences between Saskatchewan and other provinces, which I will be talking about here on this YouTube channel. All right, because here I want to make sure I motivate somebody and I want to make sure I change a life. Now, there is something in Saskatchewan called the SINP, which is the Saskatchewan Immigrant Nominee Program. If you didn't know, you are going to be listening or getting a lot of videos from me. The reason I've decided to focus on this is because Saskatchewan is one of the easiest provinces to move in, to get a job after you finish from school, and to easily get PR, which will transition you to citizenship. So keep watching the video. Now, if you want to get into the provincial nominee program, which is a Saskatchewan Immigrant Nominee Program, all right, in Saskatchewan, these are the conditions you need to meet. First, you must graduate from an institution in the Saskatchewan province, either in Saskaton, in Regina, or in any city that you are, but you must graduate. Now, this answers the questions to some of you who have been asking me, Milton, can I go to Canada then I quit the studies? And look, Canada is not Africa. Guys, be careful. There are countries that you go there, you follow the procedures in order to be comfortable and live your life well. Do not make mistakes and regret later. Why are you chasing few dollars when at the end of the day, if you finish the program, you are going to be a multi-millionaire compared to your home country? Why? So focus on the program. One, you must graduate from the college, a vocational school, or the university. Two, it doesn't matter if you have a diploma, if you have a certificate program, if you have a university degree, you must graduate. Two, you must have a paid employment or maybe an unpaid employment, but you must have worked in the province of Saskatchewan for at least 6 months. It is a mandatory something you need to do. 6 months, all right, it's very important. Now, another advantage with Saskatchewan over other provinces like Alberta and so many others is that now, this 6 months of working experience you need to have, even if you did that in school, maybe your school works, maybe your school internships, maybe anything you did in school, it counts as part of the 6 months working experience in Saskatchewan. Over other provinces, there are other provinces that you must get a full-time job when you leave school. The working hours in school don't count. So this is the advantage Saskatchewan have over other provinces. Like I said, you must have graduated and applied for postgraduate work permit, and it is granted to you before you are qualified for the SINP nomination program. Now, you must have a full-time job approved by the Saskatchewan government before. Remember, the SINP program leads you to permanent residence. So if you don't have a job, they cannot give you this this opportunity. So you need to have a full-time job, all right, from an employer in the Saskatchewan province, an approved employer, not any type of employer. This now goes to those of you who are looking for jobs on job bank. Remember, I always insist that you go for verified jobs. You will always find them there. Now, remember, the SINP job approval letter must also come from the employer. If you want to do this, the employer must give you a letter to show that you are legally working with them, and this employer must be approved. All right, there are approved employers, there are some who are not approved, so you have to be careful with what you are doing. All right, then there is a language problem here, but these language problems don't really apply when it comes to Saskatchewan, because no matter how your English is, even if you speak broken English or if your English is so poor, you can still pass this language exam. I think the minimum it should be C4 level. I don't know how many marks they need, but it's C4 level, which means that even somebody who doesn't understand English properly can equally pass this exam. I am very serious about what these are saying. For those who studied in Saskatchewan and want to transition from students to PR. I am still going to come to the advantages of studying in Saskatchewan. Now, for those who didn't study in Saskatchewan, let's say you study in British Columbia or you study in Alberta, and now you didn't find something, you didn't find a job. And remember, that job you need to have, that full-time job, must be related to what you study in Saskatchewan, in your college, in your vocational school, or in your university. It must be related, all right? So put this into consideration. You must be doing something in the field. You cannot do human resource management and at the end of the day you are doing nursing, or the job that you have is a nursing job. It doesn't work that way. This is Canada, guys. You have to be careful. Now, those who didn't study in the Saskatchewan province, you may be asking yourself, can I also apply for this SINP program? Yes, of course, but there are slight differences from those who applied who studied in the Saskatchewan province. Let's say if you studied in Alberta and you are not able to find a job and you decide to move into Saskatchewan to look for a job. Yes, my pronunciation may not be the best, guys, all right? It may be the shape of my mouth or the village where I come from. Please pardon me. Now, if you graduated from a different province, let me just and want to be a permanent resident in Saskatchewan, you would require this. Now, your course must be a 1-year course. Remember, I didn't explain at the beginning of this video. In Saskatchewan, you just need to study for 6 months. All right. Remember, the minimum to study and get a postgraduate work permit in Canada is 8 months, but in Saskatchewan, you need just 6 months. And now, to apply for the permanent residency. But if you are coming from a different province, you need a minimum, instead of 6 months in Saskatchewan and 8 months in other provinces or in the entire Canada, you need to study for 1 year in order to apply for permanent residence, though you didn't study in Saskatchewan. All right. Now, and your course must have, or maybe you must have applied and gotten the postgraduate work permit. Is very, very important. Again, you must work in Saskatchewan for a minimum of 6 months. It is very important. This stays for everybody. And of course, your full-time job in Saskatchewan must be related to the field of studies you studied in your college or vocational school or your university. All right, then the language instructions or the language must be, of course, remains the same, C4 level. All right, and now you cannot apply for this program. Please remember, you cannot apply for this program, SINP program, if you are an asylum seeker. If already you are an asylum seeker, you already have your details given to the Canadian government that you want to seek asylum, then along the line maybe you think that things are not going, or maybe you want to change your status, you cannot start the program, this SINP nomination program again. All right, remember I said for you to apply you must graduate, you must finish your program. All right, to those of you who are saying that, please, when you move to Canada to study, try and graduate. I myself, I will never advise you to go for asylum, but again, some people decide to go for that. Everybody has what they are looking for, so I cannot really I cannot blame anybody. I'm not body shaming anybody, so do what works for you. But remember, you are in an advanced economy, you are in one of the best countries on earth, so you have to be reasoning. All right, now, like I said, you cannot apply for asylum. If your asylum is rejected, you cannot apply for this program. If you started your asylum process already, you cannot apply for this program. Now, you cannot apply for this program if you have not graduated from the university or the college you currently enroll in or you are already in. Let's say maybe you move to Canada and you stop because you want to hustle, you want to make more money. Of course, we all need the money, we all like the money, all right, but there are more opportunities that awaits you in Canada if you finish your program. Don't behave like somebody who came from Africa and didn't still learn sense. We are running away from Africa, from our continent, but when we move to these places, please don't violate the laws. Make sure you follow due procedures and instructions. All right, now these are the things you need to know. Now let me come back to the advantages that you need, or how and why you should study in Saskatchewan. One, it has one of the best nomination programs, like I already explained to you. All right, the SIMP program. If you look at it, the time frame is shorter, all right, and the procedures are not that difficult to get in order to go into the program. Saskatchewan is very cold, but the Canada in particular is very, very cold, so you shouldn't be going to Canada looking at weather. No, there is someone who was asking me for hottest places to apply for universities. Now, if you are watching this video, please don't put weather into consideration. You have to adapt, you have to adapt. This is Canada, all right. Canada is very cold no matter where you live. Now understand that there are great universities and there are affordable universities in the province of Saskatchewan. There are universities, programs in the University of Saskatchewan that will cost you just $10,000 a year. All right. There are community colleges in Saskatchewan that will cost you $10,000. There are other provinces, all right, which are equally affordable. Maybe Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, British Columbia, but we are now on Saskatchewan, and I will be talking about British Columbia, Nova Scotia in the days to come. All right. So you should understand this. Like I said, with $10K, $8K, you can get programs at the University of Saskatchewan, all right, the College of Regina, and so many colleges. There are colleges, there are universities. It doesn't matter where you study. Broke people, remember, time frame is very important. Timeline, or the time you spend in school, is very important. You are broke, you need to change your status, so don't go for programs with higher years or many years. Take a 1-year program, take a 2 years program. Those who are saying that you cannot study a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and you go back to study a diploma program, that is going to be difficult to be approved for visa. Yes, you must give reasons to the visa official to grant you a visa or a study permit to Canada. Despite the fact that you have a master's degree or a bachelor's degree, that doesn't limit you from applying for a 1-year course or a 2-year course, all right, which is lower than your highest qualification, because careers do change. I can decide to change my career today. I can have a degree in biochemistry and I want to go do maybe something related to microbiology. I can decide to take a short course in order to step up my career objectives. You understand? The embassy knows this, the visa official knows this, but you must give them reasons, to see reasons with you that you actually need the visa. Without reasons, without documentation, without proper explanation, you cannot get a study permit to Canada. Please listen to me. This is is very important, because I see some misconceptions from people. They are like, people said that I cannot apply if I have a master's degree. Don't listen to people. Listen to people who have a brain. All right. Don't listen to people, but the people who have a brain. I hope you understand. Now, employability rate for residents in Saskatchewan and students who actually, or international, who actually studied in the province of Saskatchewan is very high. Yes, the minimum wage in Saskatchewan may be lower than in Vancouver, Alberta, Toronto. Yes, we know that. But looking at other factors, Saskatchewan should be the best destination. You could consider Saskatchewan, you could look at British Columbia, you could look at Nova Scotia, you could look at New Brunswick. These are, like I said, avoid bigger cities, avoid crowded areas, because this is where the residents, nationals, stay. Cost of living will be very high in these places. So what are you waiting for? Even if you want to study in these bigger cities, yes, it's good to go, but when you finish the programs, all right, and you want to transition quickly, you can transition quickly in Ontario, of course. Vancouver, yes, it's possible. But if at all is wasting a lot of time, you have to be there, you have to lose your brain, you have to use your eyes, all right. You will know if it's going to be very smart and a smart move for you. But if you think that it's going to be shaky, then move immediately to places like this. All right, I'm going to be talking more about this in the future. And again, like I said, from Saskatchewan, you can transition very quickly to PR. And again, remember, like I said, there is the University of Saskatchewan in Saskatchewan. There is the University of Regina. All right. There is the Brookett College and Saskaton or Saskatoon Polytechnic. There are equally vocational trainings institutes or schools in Saskatchewan. You have a place like Northwest College and so many other institutions. Put this into consideration, guys. Please do not forget to like this video. And remember, only on this channel we are going to be getting informations like this. Please, if you intend to apply for a college in Canada, make sure before you start that application, you should know that you need at least 10,000 Canadian dollars in your bank account for living costs. Before, when you gain admissions and you are about to apply for the visa, you now add money for your visa and other expenditures to make up your proof of funds. Without proper documentation of proof of funds and documents, you cannot get a study permit to Canada. Even if you have a master's degree, I know 3 people who are studying 1-year diploma programs at Niagara College and they are master's degree holders. All right, I know someone now who recently moved to to Ontario, and he is a bachelor's holder in education. But what he is doing now, he is studying business administration. Do you understand? You must document, explain to the visa officials why they should give you a visa because of the program you want to study. I hope you get me clearly. Till we meet again in another video, please finger this video for us. That's press the like button. Till we meet again. Bye bye.